at Yaba College of Technology, Lagos, and later honed her expertise in interior architecture and design at the University of Hertfordshire in the UK. Today, Coast channels her passion for problem solving and innovations, her passion for problem solving and innovation into the fintech space as a senior product manager at Cowrywise. With her product management certification in view, she plays a pivotal role in shaping and managing products that make financial management simpler and more accessible for everyday people. Please welcome Coast Dania Grillo.
I think we can welcome me better. Don't I look amazing? Are we not happy to be here today? Can you increase my mic a bit? Are we not happy to be here today? First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming here. Please give yourselves a round of applause. People came at 9 for arrival and registration, and that is so good. You should celebrate yourselves for that. I also want us to celebrate those who are online. We're just going to call them, for the purpose of this event today, we're going to call them the PJ gang, the Pajama gang. Are we good? So please give a round of applause for people who are joined and tuned in online. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to dive right in to take the national anthem. And if we'll just be up on our feet while we take the new national anthem. Arise.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Really knew that anthem. Because I saw that we're really just following the lyrics. You're not like me, because I'm very set in my ways. I've a reason as a compatriot. I'm not going anywhere again. Again, thank you so much for coming around. Before we move directly into our keynote, our first keynote, which will be taken by Mr. Wale Ajiboye, I just want to say that today we're going to talk about the customer experience advantage. Why we're going to do that today, you would find out from the different lineup of speakers that we have. But very quickly, how many of us were here last year? Show of hands, very well, guys. Show of hands, show of hands, show of hands. Okay, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the food, the speaking? Did you learn? Okay, we'll be doing a lot more of that today. How many of us came from Ikeja? Okay. How many of us came from Aja, Shongo Tedu? How many of us came from Ikorodu? Okay, some representation here. How many of us came from Victoria Island, Ikoyi, Alfred Wani? But okay, I see the bougie ones. How many of us came from Omole Magodo? You guys really, really came prepared and early. A round of applause for yourselves again. Okay, we'll be going straight in right now with the first keynote speech. Please make welcome Mr. Wale Abioye.
Wale Abioye is a partner at KPMG West Africa in the strategy and customer solutions practice. He works with CEOs and senior executives to connect strategy to value by reimagining how organizations serve and engage their customers. With deep expertise in customer strategy, digital transformation, and innovation, Wale has helped leading organizations across Africa to design growth strategies, drive customer transformation, and build capabilities that deliver measurable business outcomes. He also leads KPMG BICX, West Africa's foremost banking industry customer experience research. Capturing insights from more than 30,000 customers annually, BICX has become the region's benchmark for customer excellence in financial services. Passionate about the future of customer experience, Wale brings a unique perspective on how African businesses can compete and thrive in a world where customer expectations, technology, and strategy converge. Please welcome Wale Abioye.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here this morning. So I'll be speaking very quickly on the experience economy. Now, every year at KPMG, we speak to over 35,000 Nigerians. I'm asking them about their experiences, asking them about their preferences, and how they live. And in the past few years, some trends stand out, and one in particular. About 8 in 10 of us say that when we ask about our top spend categories, 8 in 10 of us say that next to food is airtime and data. That's what we're all spending money on. And then you ask, what are we doing with that? We're watching movies online, we're doing research, we're communicating with people, we're doing all kinds of things online. And then last year, at the height of the macro challenges, we asked people, if your income were to drop by 10%, which one of your top spend categories would you cut first? Guess what? Fewer than 1 in 10 people said they would cut back on airtime and data. Now, what does that tell us? It tells us that people would forgo other experiences, but not those ones that keep them connected, the experiences that keep them engaged, the experiences that keep them informed. Now, globally as well, we see the same trends. What do we see globally? 8 in 10 young people say that they will choose experiences over owning assets. Now, you see that all around us as well. So you see your ride sharing. I imagine many of us came here with Uber, Bolt, and other different types of ride sharing apps. You also see the rise of short-let apartments all around us because short-term access to the things that we used to think were essential to own has now become the order of the day. Now, so what's all of this telling us? So if we go to the next slide, can I have the slides on the screen? So what that's telling us is that when we look at our own lives, if you think about the last time you bought a product or you used a service, what did you really talk about? Did you talk about the product itself, or you talked about how it made you feel? My guess will be that you actually talked about how it made you feel. And what that's telling us is we're living in the experience economy. Can I have the slides, please? Okay, all right. All right, just a moment for them to bring up the slides. can go on without the slides, but let me wait for them. So. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. So, as I said, when you think about your own experiences, you find that you talk more about the things that you feel rather than the actual product itself. If we go on to the next slide, what that means is the definition of value today, as we talk about experiences, goes beyond actual products. So we've come a long way from where value was measured in terms of commodities, in terms of trading, to where value then translated into products, and then value in terms of services. And then today, value is defined on account of experiences. If you think about some of the biggest brands in the world that you would associate with value, you'll talk about those businesses that deliver great experiences. If you go to the next slide, please. So what are some of the behaviors that we see in the experience economy? One of the things we know is that people would say that trustworthiness, transparency, delivering on promises are things that they treasure. In one of the surveys that we ran in recent times, last year specifically, about 78% of people, all of us seated here, actually said they would rather lose their phones than their wallets. So that's where we are today. So just sort of tells you where and what we associate with value now. And then what's influencing our decisions, the things we hear online, the things we read, quality, discounts, and reviews. Thank you. And then, again, more people would say they would rather not go back to a brand when they have a poor experience. Never mind if the product was actually very good. So those are some of the trends that we see in the experience economy. Now, what does this look like in some of the sectors we work in? So if you look at the hospitality industry, so some of our hotels, every big hotel you see now is selling more than just the rooms. They're selling experiences within the hotel, within the environments of the hotel. If you look at e-commerce, e-commerce is more than just shopping. It's a journey now. It's a journey of experiences, of discovering even things that you didn't know that you needed. If you look at banking, every bank will tell you they are competing not just on transactions, they are competing on the quality of experience that they offer customers. And of course, even now, when you go to your filling station, many times you're trying to do a bit more than just buying fuel. It's also the quality of experiences that you're after. Now, the next phase of the experience economy would be more intelligent, it would be automated, and it will be agentic. Recently, I was listening to some projects being run by Google DeepMind. It's called Project Mariner, and I will encourage you to look it up. Project Mariner is it's a family of multimodal agents that can reason, that can think and act on your behalf. And what those agents can do is they can run complex analysis. So for example, today, if you were looking for a job, you go on a website, do your search and all of that. But within that project that they're running now, just based on your personal preferences, looking up your LinkedIn profile, for instance, the agents can look for jobs on your behalf, make recommendations, even help you with your CV, and then do the applications for you. In banking or in financial services, They could be looking at your budget, analyzing your stage of life, and then recommend transactions and even execute on your behalf. The interesting one I came across was for a hotel or in hospitality where you're going on holiday. The agents on their own can do the analysis based on your preferences, based on your lifestyle, make recommendations on where you might want to stay, actually go ahead and do the bookings for you. And then depending on how you feel during your trip as well, they can alter your itinerary for you. That's the future of the experience economy, where we go from let's serve you as a customer to let's anticipate and act on your behalf. So if you think about all your businesses and you think about what customers might be interested in a few years from now, that's the future that we should expect. But then as we talk about the experience economy, I know many of us here would be working in CX. And in our organizations, we would compete for budgets with marketing, with HR, with risk, with IT, trying to demonstrate value. But the reality is that we see a very strong connection between customer experience and value. If you can see the screen, 84% of companies that improve customer experience actually report increases in revenue as well. We also find that when you deliver great experiences, you're more likely to retain your customers. And you know that the customers you have are typically more valuable than customers you're trying to get, which you don't have already anyway. And then, of course, when we look at financial services, about 8 in 10 Nigerian businesses tell us that the quality of digital experiences they get differentiates one institution to another. And then finally, your cost to serve actually drops when you deliver great experiences. But great experiences also is not just about spending money. What we found and what we see is that there's a balance between delivering great experiences and also, in a sense, wasting money. Now, so if you can look at the line, so the dark line is the customer expectation. Now, when you significantly deliver more than what the customer is expecting, you find that you may be incurring costs that are not necessary. So economic value is lost. And then when you also under-deliver, you find that you lose revenue and you lose market share. So the juice really is in finding the balance and the sweet spot in terms of what customers expect and slightly exceeding that rather than investing more than you should. Now, so how do you win in the experience economy? We have what we call the 6 pillars of experience excellence that is born out of our own research for over the last 2 decades around the world, including in Nigeria. And we found that brands that deliver very well on great experiences would excel in these 6 areas. And I'll talk a bit about them. Integrity, which is the foundation. Integrity is showing that you're trustworthy as an institution, and also at the individual level within your organizations, that your people can be believed. So when a customer calls your call center and they say to the customer, I will call you back tomorrow. Now, do your people actually call back? That's integrity. And then integrity in terms of the perception of the entire business. The second one is resolution. Resolution is turning a poor experience into a great one. So it's not just fixing problems, it's taking the advantage of poor situations and translating it into great experiences. In service or experience, there's what we call the service paradox or the recovery paradox, where you can actually take a poor experience and, depending on how you resolve it, elevate the quality of that experience more than what it used to be even before something went wrong. That's what great resolution looks like. And then expectations. Expectations is showing your customer that it's clear to them what you are delivering. You are able to manage that proactively and then sometimes also exceed that. So when people come to your business, when they come to your brand, do they know what they will get from you? That's expectations. Time and effort is showing that you value the return on your customers' time and effort. And you're continually invested in minimizing how long people spend doing business with you. And then final two, personalization, showing that you understand your customer, you know who they are, and you translate that back into the relationship with them. And empathy, as we would all know, is effectively walking in your customer's shoes. So the brands that do very well, so if you think about any of those big brands that do very well on customer experience or experiences generally, even employee experience, would excel in these 6 areas. So what do these look like in action? So if you look at integrity, you take a food brand, for instance, a food brand who supplies foods finds out that one of their suppliers maybe has used rotten tomatoes, for instance. Now, would they keep quiet, or would they actually stop production and call back the things they've produced? That's what integrity looks like. If you look at resolution is owning the problem, and then taking charge of the situation as well. So you find, for instance, a customer's order was delayed, the brand apologizes, and then maybe compensates the customer. I like one example